Who's the most famous economist that you know of? Throw out some names. Pardon? Michael Porter. Michael Porter is a very mediocre economist. You can ask anybody that knows him, you can ask Michael Porter. Is he a Nobel Prize winner? Is he at the University of Chicago our best school for economics? The answer is no. He's at Harvard that hardly teaches economics. Why is he, and I agree with you, he's the best economist for what reason? He took all those charts and all those equations and all the isoquant bars and all the rest of that, and he said, it really relates to these 5 diamonds. Competition, substitute products, and he drew us a little picture and went, is that what they're talking about? He literally took all this stuff that had been generated over 100 years and translated it into a language most all of us could understand. So when you say, what kind of research are you going to do? I'm going to develop new knowledge. I'm going to come up and I'm going to prove that entrepreneurs are ADHD, or a large percentage of them are. And I've gone back and I've looked at Edison, I've looked at characteristics of people who are big entrepreneurs. They all had the same characteristics. They were all social misfits. Henry Ford. People hated Henry Ford because he was socially inadept, because he was always in his head doing the next step in his business. Okay? The other way you can look at yourself, and again, I'll send all this to you because I'm going through quickly, but are you going to be a conceptualist? Are you going to think up new ideas? Are you going to look for new theories that apply to those ideas? Are you going to be a behavioralist, the thing that most people are today? I'm going to look at a behavioral thing and I'm going to measure it and I'm going to put my piece of sand on the beach. Do people do that? The answer is yes. The most successful career-wise are right here. Why? Why are they so successful?
Following the trends.
They're following people before them that did exactly the same thing.
They didn't take the risk.
They didn't take a risk, they didn't innovate, they didn't come up with a new idea. They said, let me measure happiness. Your home life doesn't have anything to do with your happiness, it's only at work. I sat there and listened to her presentation and said, oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. The biggest impact on me is how badly my wife beat me up the day before. My wife was a professional boxer. She literally beats me up. I've installed elderly cam in our house so that when I walk around, I can show the courts that she's hitting me and stuff like that. Who's this person? It sounds like he's from the United States, black and white. What's an integrationist? This is a really important person. I saw something over here, and I can apply it over here. I'm looking at string theory right now. String theory is kind of hard to understand. It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. But I think I've got a way to apply it in a business context. That's an integrationist. A guy that's the most quoted guy in marketing is a guy named Paul Green. He's at Wharton. Paul Green is an integrationist. He is the most quoted guy in the field of marketing. He has never, underline the word never, written a marketing article. What he does is he finds conjoint analysis and he applies it in a marketing context. He finds structural equation modeling and he applies it in a marketing context. He's an integrationist. The people that we have the least of, that we need the most of, is Michael Porter. Somebody can actually tell them what all this crap that we do means to where they can say, oh, I can do that. You know, I can't listen to this person with happiness because she said, my wife doesn't make me unhappy. My wife makes me unhappy every day of the year. What are you going to get me today? Are we going to lunch today? Can I have the car today? You know, there's always something that makes me mad. My point to you is you've got to look at, am I going to develop knowledge, am I going to defend it, or am I going to disseminate it, and which of these am I going to be? And the key to this is you seldom can be more than one of them. What else does it tell you? That quickly. What does it tell you you need? I'm putting my network together. Do I need another theorist? No. I need somebody to crank the numbers. I need somebody that can take this, and we're looking at coming up with all these articles. I've got to have somebody that can translate all this into something that a manager can understand. I was helping a guy work on a Harvard Business Review article Sunday. And it was quite obvious. I said, Rich, I can't read this. If I can't read it, there's no way that a business person is going to be able to read it. He says, I know, that's why I brought you in, because you're good at conceptual theory. Can you conceptualize this so I can explain it? This is a model for you who should be on your research team. Okay? and this is the last thing I'll tell you, then you can ask me whatever you want. This is Shelby Hunt, marketing, the biggest theorist, the biggest jerk in the world. But this guy's really good. I mean, he is really good. If he's not the best, he is in the top 5. And what he said was, which was so important, put this in his theory book, the big breakthroughs don't come from going to A to B to C to D and following and putting my piece of sand on the beach. It comes from somebody going, holy crap, I just thought of something. And what he came up with was this diagram. This is what you're taught in school. The context of justification. I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to look at laws. I'm going to look at understanding. I'm going to apply theories, and I'm going to come up with an answer. Okay? And what Shelby Hunt, one of the most strict, formal guys I've ever met in my life. That's why I don't like it, because I'm not that way. He said, yes, but this would all be lost if you didn't have this on top of it. Somebody that says, gee, that parallel branding thing's working. Those national brands are getting beat up by a product that's exactly the same as theirs, and we should explain it. Or speculation. Gee, I wonder why we accept these people, we don't accept this. Miriam, the young lady who was with me last time, she's here again. She's my assistant. She's saying that we use a term called impatriation, bringing people into your home country. And we say, how distant can that person be before I won't accept them? I'm going to bring somebody from Saudi Arabia to the United States. Okay, I can live with that. I'm going to bring somebody from Switzerland. Okay, I can live with that. I'm going to bring somebody from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Wait a minute. I don't accept that guy. I had a personal example. I had back surgery, 10.5 hours of back surgery. I took it to the doctor, and he looked at my thing, he said, I can't fix your back. I only know one person that can. He lives in Sarajevo, Yugoslavia, and he's never gone to medical school. Will you let him work on your back? That gets your attention. Oh, by the way, you're going to be under anesthetic for 10 hours. It ended up being 10.5 hours. I only know of one anesthesiologist that can keep an old guy like you alive for 10 hours. She lives in Brazil. And oh, by the way, the guy that's going to cut you from the top of your back to your gut he lives in South Africa. And I had to sit there and say, am I willing to accept these people to actually run my life and figure out whether I'm going to be a quadriplegic or not? And the answer was, let's give it a try. It was really funny because the guy from Sarajevo, he walked in. I said, I remember you. You played team handball. In 1976, you beat. I thought the guy was going to have a heart attack. I lived in Sarajevo in 1976. This guy was an Olympic handball player, and I actually used to watch him play once a week. But the guy just, I mean, you could just see him clutch his heart like, how in the world would you know that? So once we got past that, and I figured out he'd never been to medical school, but he's going to operate on me, we made it. And what I'm looking at here is, eureka, I've got an idea. Nike said we could grow our business 75% if I could find qualified managers. And what I did was I came up with a whole new pool of qualified managers that they'd never looked at before. They're called impatriates. I'm going to bring Hassan into my office in Chicago, and he's going to work there permanently. All of a sudden, I got one more international manager. Okay, that was the new idea.